Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to just do a quick video talking about some of my favorite Wii U games thus far. I had originally did this video and deleted it. This video consisted of 5 Wii U games I really enjoyed. However, since then I've played some more Wii U games, I took some in and out of the shuffle, and I've narrowed it down to 7 so far. Keep in mind, I do still have some Wii U games I haven't even played yet, such as Rodea Sky Soldier, Xenoblade, and I played a tiny bit of Wind Waker, but not enough to really play it. So these are the ones I can wholeheartedly recommend thus far for the Wii U. I am really happy with my purchase so far. I've gotten a lot of time out of the Wii U. I know the Switch is around the corner at this point, so I'm going to hold off on that right now, play through my Wii U games and see where I'm at in possibly like 6 months, a year. So we'll kick this off with something that I like a lot, is definitely on my list, but also has some cons, and I've spoke about this, and that's the Wonderful 101. This is sort of the sleeper hit on the Wii U. It's a beat-em-up mixed with strategy game. Looks something like Pikmin, but with beat-em-up elements, not strategy elements really. However, you can draw either on the screen or with your thumbstick, and depending on what you draw, you have certain abilities that you obtain through getting different characters. You then can morph into these different things, like a whip, a fist, a sword. You know, if you draw a straight line, you can draw a sword and you could hit people with the sword. And then there's like sort of puzzles with it. So certain things only unlock with certain weapons. So you have to use the right weapons on the right enemies or at the right moments. It's an awesome game. It's all about superheroes. It's definitely under a lot of people's radar. I've seen it new at Walmart for 15 bucks. I think GameStop has it for like 20 used. It's definitely worth it. The only thing I would say negative is it's a little tough sometimes when you're trying to draw one thing and you end up drawing another, and then you get frustrated. And the other thing, which was more of a negative for me, is the story just goes on and on and on and on, where by the end of the game I was like, alright, did I beat the boss yet? Oh my god, there's another rendition of him. But otherwise, the game is really fun, the universe is really fun, the characters are really interesting and cute. I can wholeheartedly recommend the Wonderful 101. It's a very good Wii U game. Another one that I would definitely recommend is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I've spoken about this before. This is a 3D puzzle game where you walk around and can spin the world, sort of like Fez, and go in and out of buildings and stuff, and you have to find these gems in each of the levels and then make it to the star at the end of the level. Really fun. It's a side story, I believe, or like a side thing that got spun off from the Super Mario 3D World. I played a little bit of that with Beth. She wasn't as keen on that as the new Super Mario U, so we've been playing that one more. But really great game if you like puzzle games and if you're into the Mario universe. This one, those two, by the way, are Nintendo-only games. Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is an awesome retro-esque platformer. Pretty difficult. I wouldn't really say it's for kids or anything, but this has now been out on numerous systems, and I know they're redoing it or doing some kind of updated version on the Switch, and it's just awesome. If you like old-school platformers like DuckTales or stuff like that, you will like Shovel Knight. This is a great game. It has amiibo support. You could have 2 players if you have the amiibo. It has another mode after you beat the game where you play as the bad guy. So this is a really great game, and if you haven't played this, I would highly recommend this, especially if you're into platformers and you like them with a little bit of a difficulty to them. Another great platformer that I didn't know how much I was really going to like this, and I just beat it the other day, and I can tell you it's up there for me with Shovel Knight. In terms of the difficulty, it's easier. It's a little hard near the end in certain points, but overall the game is an easier game than Shovel Knight. So if you have someone that's a little younger perhaps, or you get a little frustrated with your video games, I would go with this. Chante, the HalfGenie hero. This is the Risky Beats edition. This includes the soundtrack. Think of, again, something like Shovel Knight, but this game is really pretty. They dolled this up and did like really beautifully hand-drawn looking graphics. It looks like a cartoon, really. And once you beat the game, there's like a harder mode you can go into called Hero Mode, where you start over with all of your transformations. What the main thing is you're this girl, Chante, who's like a half of a genie, half of a human, and she's protecting this village, and you have to go on little quests. So there's like kind of small quests in between like a bigger picture quest, and you can transform into different animals that you find, and each animal has different abilities, sort of like Captain Nemo, the Dream Master, sort of. There's a monkey that can jump really high and hang on things. There's a spider that can go upside down and go on certain ledges that you can't go on otherwise. There's a harpy that flies around. So the more abilities you get, the more you can do, which also opens up levels that you've been in where you can now backtrack and find other secrets in other areas. So a lot of the game has to deal with going back and backtracking and finding new transformations and finding new abilities and things to do. So it's a really great game. It was about 6 or 7 hours. I'd say like 6 hours. Like I said, once you do beat it, there is that hero mode, and there is some DLC slated for this where you play as the bad guy, just like Shovel Knight. So these are not Wii U exclusive. If you have an Xbox One or PlayStation Network, you can pick up these games. This got physically released on, I think, everything, and this got just physically released on PS4 and Wii U, I believe. I don't think this got an Xbox One physical release. But these are awesome, awesome games. I never thought I'd think that way about platformers again, because as I got older, I just sort of got bored with them and frustrated, but not anymore. These are just great. Another really awesome game that I'm not super far in, but I probably have about 10 hours into, which says something, because normally my cusp on games is 10 to 12 hours before I start getting sort of like, all right, I had enough, and that's Paper Mario Color Splash. This is a really fun game. It involves puzzle elements, it involves RPG elements and talking, you know, upgrading your character, stuff like that. The fighting is turn-based, but it also has timing to it. So you have to like jump on bad guys' heads, and if you push the button while you're jumping, you'll do extra damage, or jump again perhaps. Some people didn't like the card. The battles are with a card-based system, so you have to paint in your cards and use your paint supply and then use them, and certain cards work better on certain enemies, stuff like that. Really cute game. You can color things in the world with your paintbrush too. It's actually to paint a hammer, and you can you know, unlock more stuff or get coins or find secrets. There's a lot of cool stuff, and this game has a really great sense of humor, as does Chante and Shovel Knight. Chante breaks the fourth wall. Shovel Knight has a bunch of great retro humor, but this game too is very, very cute, really fun. And another one that I want to talk about was Yoshi's Woolly World. This is an awesome I believe it's 4-player game as well, but 2-player for me because there's Beth and I. And you play as Yoshi. Everything looks like yarn, which is really, really cool. Really nice graphics. Same thing with all these games. The graphics are really wonderful. And in co-op, you go around and try to help each other, you know, get all these items and things in the level, make it to the end of the level and beat the bosses. This game also has amiibo support, so you're able to use your amiibos and change the colors of the Yoshi you're playing as. Like if you use the Toad amiibo from Treasure Tracker, Yoshi looks like he has like a Toad hat on, and his colors of him change. So it's pretty cool. It's a great platformer. I'm shocked that I like all these platformers, but an excellent platformer that's, there's some kind of other rendition on the 3DS, so if you have a 3DS, I would definitely recommend this. And finally, another game that I'm having a lot of fun with Beth with, and also has a 3DS rendition, which I think has the DLC included. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. It's Hyrule Warriors. This is pretty much a amalgamation between Dynasty Warriors and The Legend of Zelda. So it has all the great Legend of Zelda like noises and sound effects and music. All the characters from The Legend of Zelda like Sheik and Zelda and Link and is it Daruna or Darunia? That big guy with the hammer. So what it is think of Dynasty Warriors, but you're playing as Legend of Zelda characters and fighting Legend of Zelda enemies. And the more you kill, the more you upgrade. You can then like upgrade your abilities and your characters. Not abilities so much, but like you can upgrade your weapons. You can fuse weapons. There's an like a, what do they call that? There's an online mode that you can like beat challenges and unlock certain areas on like a map. and that has passive online, where like other people who are playing online can like help you sort of like in the background somehow, but there is no like online play. To play this multiplayer, one player has to use the Wii U gamepad and one player has to use the screen, which is fine, but I wished it was all on one screen, either split screen or just on one screen. Using two-player does downgrade the graphics a little bit, but it still looks pretty. It's still a nice game, and it's a lot of fun. Beth and I are really enjoying going around just beating the hell out of everyone, and it's button mashy because it's like Dynasty Warriors, but there is some tactic to it. You do have to, certain enemies you have to like come at certain ways, use certain weapons or certain items, and if you're into the whole Zelda universe, definitely recommend Hyrule Warriors, and if you like Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors, I could recommend this as well. So some really awesome games I'm playing so far on the Wii U. I can wholeheartedly recommend all of these. Some of them I've beaten, some of them like Hyrule Warriors we're getting there. So check out these games if any of them sounded interesting to you. And thanks guys for watching. It is Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. I'll have some more Wii U games for you in the future because the way I'm going through them, just having a really great time. So I'm sure I'll have some more to add on to this list in the future. Be good, guys.